Imagine it's 6 a.m. The sun is just coming up in Minya, Egypt, and it's quiet.
And then a phone call. Frantic, insistent.
It's Ali's sister who answers. On the line, she hears the voice of her sister-in-law, Hamdiya, and she's panicking.
The story Hamdiya tells is just.
Uh-huh.
It's a nightmare. She says they've been violently attacked in their new apartment.
Right. Robbers broke in, Ali was beaten severely, and they took everything.
Everything. Cash, gold, their mobile phones. It's the classic, terrifying home invasion story.
So Ali's sister, she doesn't hesitate. She rushes over, finds the scene, gets Ali to the nearest hospital, but it's too late.
It's already too late. The doctors pronounce him dead on arrival. The police are there in minutes.
And at first glance, it looks like a straightforward, if tragic, robbery homicide.
But as we dig in here, we find that this case it's a facade. Today, our deep dive is about uncovering the calculated timeline of deception that was hiding just beneath the surface of this brand new forced marriage.
We're talking about an obsession that spiraled into a meticulously planned murder.
And to really understand that calculation, you have to go back to the very beginning.
Yeah.
Let's go back to 2010.
Okay, so what's happening then?
Hamdiya is just 17 years old, and she meets a man named Hamada.
And he wasn't a stranger to her family, was he?
No, not at all. He was known in their village, even friends with her brothers. But their connection was immediate. It's described as love at first sight.
An intense connection. She saw him as the man of her dreams, and he felt the same way.
Exactly. And for 2 years, they kept this relationship going in secret. But, in a small village.
Secrets don't stay secret for long.
Right. It eventually becomes public knowledge, and that creates huge problems, especially between Hamada and Hamdiya's brothers.
And Hamada's situation wasn't exactly ideal for marriage, was it?
No. He worked in the quarries, so his financial situation was difficult. He promised her he'd marry her, but he couldn't do it right away.
And her family was not willing to wait.
Not at all. The second she turns 19, they make the decision for her. She is going to marry a man named Ali.
Ali. Who was he?
A relative. He had been working in Jordan. He was coming back to Egypt to settle down, and he accepted the marriage based on his family's choice. He trusted them.
So this was an arranged marriage, pure and simple. And Hamdiya, she must have fought it.
She did. She tried to refuse. Repeatedly. But her family just overrode her. The decision was made, and they moved fast.
How fast are we talking?
From Ali's first visit to the wedding day. Just 15 days.
Wow. That's no time at all. They were clearly trying to lock it down before she had any other choice.
That's exactly it. And this leads to a really critical moment. On the day of the wedding, Hamada finds her.
Where?
At the hairdresser's. He tracks her down and makes this dramatic final vow. He tells her, look, I can't stop this from happening, but I will always be devoted to you, even if you're married.
And that promise that had to have cemented something in her mind, that this marriage to Ali was just temporary.
It was a placeholder.
Yep.
And their real life would resume later.
So after the wedding, Hamdiya and Ali move into a new apartment.
And the location here is really key. It was significantly far away from their home village, far from family.
Which gave her a sense of relief, right? A private space to manage this imposed life.
A huge sense of relief.
Yeah.
And that first week, things were strained. Ali seemed unhappy. They slept in separate rooms.
And for Hamdiya, this was perfect.
She was delighted. She was absolutely determined that no one but Hamada would ever touch her.
But that couldn't last forever.
No. Eventually, Ali sought, conjugal relations. Hamdiya consented. The source says she felt she had no other solution.
And this is where her obsession really kicks into high gear. The very next morning.
The very next morning, she's on the phone with Hamada.
Telling him what happened.
And asking him, point blank, how do I stop Ali from ever touching me again?
And Hamada's answer is what escalates this from a secret love affair to something much, much darker.
It's a pivotal moment. His suggestion, sleeping pills.
Just like that.
Just like that. The plan was simple. She would mix sleeping pills into Ali's food, into his drinks, every time he was home. He'd fall into a deep sleep, and he'd remain distant. She agreed immediately.
Let's just pause on that. There's no hesitation. They just jump straight from emotional avoidance to chemical incapacitation.
Zero hesitation from either of them. It shows you how quickly their moral boundaries were breaking down.
Yeah.
The priority was protecting their connection, no matter the cost.
So this deception becomes their new reality, and Ali's work schedule actually made it easier.
It really did. For the next 3 months, he had this grueling routine. He'd work for 20 days straight in Cairo.
And then get just 5 days off at home in Minya.
And during those 5 days home, Ali was always exhausted, sleeping really deeply. He just assumed it was from his job.
He had no idea he was being heavily drugged every single day he was home.
Completely in the dark. But the deception went even deeper.
What happened when he was away in Cairo?
For those entire 20-day stretches, Hamada wasn't just visiting, he was living in Ali's apartment with Hamdiya.
Living there? You're kidding.
The source is explicit. They were acting exactly like a married couple. And because the apartment was so isolated, any neighbors who saw Hamada just assumed he was the husband.
So for 3 months, this system worked perfectly.
Flawlessly. But it all hinged on one thing: Ali being gone.
And then in the 4th month, that all changes.
Ali comes home and drops a bombshell. He tells her he's moving his work to Minya. He's not going to be traveling to Cairo anymore. They're 20 days of
freedom gone, just like that.
Over.
So Hamdia's reaction is predictable. She demands a divorce.
Immediately. But Ali refuses. Flat out. He tells her he will never leave her and he will never let her go back to Hamada.
So he knew. He suspected something.
He did. Hamdiya found out that he'd been hearing rumors from friends back home that she was still in love with Hamada.
So he didn't know Hamada had been living in his own house, but he knew the emotional connection was still there.
Exactly. He thought the divorce was just a way for them to get back together, so he decided to move home permanently to block it. He was trying to save his marriage.
Fighting a threat he couldn't even fully see.
And once that door to divorce was slammed shut, the lovers, they took a much darker turn.
This is where the source mentions demonic ideas.
Yeah, they decide they have to keep their relationship going, even with Ali in the apartment, permanently.
So they come up with a new routine, one that requires just an unbelievable level of audacity.
It's chillingly precise. Hamdiya keeps giving him the sleeping pills, even more of them now. Ali gets home from work at 5 p.m., he eats, drinks his tea.
And by 7 p.m., he's in a deep, drug-induced sleep.
A coma-like sleep. And then, at 10 p.m., Hamada arrives.
He comes to the apartment while the husband is asleep inside.
He spends the entire night there, in the same apartment. Then he leaves at exactly 4 a.m.
Why 4 a.m.?
It's time to the Fajr prayer. It's the moment the day begins when people start to stir, so it provides the perfect cover for him to slip out unnoticed.
And Ali just wakes up at 6 a.m. feeling terrible, thinking it's just work stress.
Feeling his body broken, is the phrase used. And they pulled this off.
How many times?
4 times. 4 separate nights this routine worked.
I can't even wrap my head around that. The sheer nerve.
But on the 5th attempt, the whole scheme falls apart.
Ali comes home, he eats, he falls asleep. Hamada arrives at 10 p.m. Everything is going according to plan.
Until 2 a.m.
What happens at 2 a.m.?
Ali starts to wake up. He's stirring, fighting through the drugs.
And they know. Discovery is seconds away.
They know, and Hamdiya acts instantly. She doesn't hesitate. She grabs a piece of cloth, a long piece of fabric, and wraps it around Ali's neck.
Hamada grabs the other end.
And they both pull. As hard as they can.
Until he's dead.
The deception is over. Replaced by murder.
And then the cover-up begins. They have to stage the robbery.
Hamdiya gives Hamada the cash, the gold jewelry, the phones, everything she's going to report stolen. It has to look like a random violent break-in.
And Hamada leaves at his usual time, 4 a.m.
Same time as always. Then Hamdiya waits for 2 very long, very crucial hours.
Until 6 a.m. when she makes that panicked phone call to Ali's sister, telling her the story they've concocted.
But when law enforcement gets there, they are skeptical almost immediately.
Why? What tipped them off?
First, the forensics. The examination of Ali's body shows no signs of a general beating like she described. What it does show are clear laceration marks on his neck.
Consistent with strangulation.
Manual strangulation. And the crime scene itself? It doesn't match the story. There are no signs of forced entry.
So how did these supposed robbers get in?
Good question. And another thing that would raise a red flag for any seasoned detective is how specific Hamdiya was about the stolen items.
That's suspicious. I would think a victim would know exactly what was taken.
You would, but in the chaos of a violent attack, most victims are focused on trauma, on survival. They're not usually able to give you a perfect inventory list right away.
But she could.
A pristine list. It suggests a pre-planned narrative, not a random act of violence.
And there was more. A physical examination of Hamdiya.
Yes. It confirmed she'd had recent relations, but, and this is the key, with absolutely no signs of violence or assault.
Which directly contradicts her story about being attacked by robbers.
Flat out contradicts it. So the police, they follow her initial leads about some enemies Ali might have had in Cairo, but that all dries up fast.
And that's when they get the tip, the piece of information that changes everything.
Someone talks. The police learned that Hamdia had a previous, very intense relationship with a man named Hamada.
And the whole investigation just pivots.
Immediately, they put Hamada under surveillance, and the breakthrough comes exactly where you'd expect it to.
Money.
Money talks. They track into a gold shop.
And he's selling the jewelry.
He sold a very specific ring. The police recover it, and they confirm it belongs to Hamdia.
Yeah.
What are the exact items she reported stolen?
That's it. That's the link.
That's the whole case right there. They arrest Hamdia, and she confesses everything.
But her confession is, it's not what you'd expect.
It's astonishing. Even as she's admitting to her role in the murder, she is fiercely defending Hamada. She says he's innocent, that she loves him. She refuses to call him a criminal. She's still protecting him.
Even from justice. She chose him over everything. But did he choose her?
And that is the final chilling twist. When the police arrest Hamada, he betrays her instantly.
He denies it all.
Denies everything. He claims Hamdia acted completely alone and only called him after Oli was already dead.
He threw her right under the bus.
Without a second thought.
Huh.
It was only after intense pressure from the police that he finally broke and confessed to his full role in the entire shared, calculated scheme.
It's just a terrifying progression. It starts with sleeping pills to avoid intimacy.
Which evolves into this horrifying routine of carrying on an affair while her husband is unconscious just a few feet away.
And the second that routine is threatened, it ends in murder. A coordinated, brutal strangulation.
The depth of the manipulation here is profound. You have Hamdia so committed to this delusion that she's protecting her lover even as she's confessing. And then you have Hamada, whose loyalty lasted only until the moment he got caught.
So when you look at all this, what's the takeaway? Their deception worked for months. They even pulled off that insane nightly routine 4 separate times. So think about this. Consider the psychological audacity it takes to turn your own home, not into a refuge, but into a carefully controlled fatal trap. And how quickly a promise of undying devotion can vanish when the consequences finally come knocking.